Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
How are you doing today? Hope you're doing well. Are you doing well?
Fantastic. How are you?
Fantastic. After the essay, the assignment.
Well, I don't know. You tell us. Was it fantastic? I don't know.
It was.
I'll let you know by grade how fantastic you are on a ranking of 0 to 100%. But I'm sure you'll do the best as I expect. You'll deliver the best. I'm quite very convinced of that. Let's see how it goes. No tension, no worries. So today, let's just take a step further and discuss journalism as professional practice and use value. What makes it a professional practice? There are contentions, debates about the professionalismness of journalism. Some say it's not a professional field. Some say it's a vocation. Some say it's just a job. Some say it is less of a professional than what is professional. You agree with me that you need to go to some specialized schools to become a lawyer. You have to be called to bar and be certified. You agree with me that to become a medical doctor, you have to go to medical schools and be certified. To become an architect, there is a training for it. But to become a journalist, what does it require? What does it require? A pen. A pen. I was going to say the pen. Someone said a pen. If it is just a pen, then are we not all journalists?
No.
Yes.
So tell me yes and no. Yes, what is your answer?
Just wanted to disagree with him, to be honest. But yes, we are all journalists because most of us debate with each other. We are creating commentary. We are we bring up different social contexts.
Okay.
That in itself is what we talked about earlier, journalism. But we also in a way, gossip with our friends. And me talking to Hannah about who likes her at a club, that's spreading the word of news. That's journalism.
Okay.
So
Why are you bringing one up?
we're all journalists.
That's a yes. Lara, is journalism a profession? You say it is. For we all here, it seems like it is a profession, and it is a profession because we're in a specialized school, a center that makes you to be trained, and you're gonna be doing some exam. NCTIJ, right?
Yeah.
And is it? Yeah. I said NCTIJ, not I. The I is investigating, don't mind me. NCTJ exam, which is the professional body that satisfies and gives you the right and kind of training that helps you become a professional journalist. What exactly distinguishes a professional journalist and an unprofessional journalist or a citizen journalist? What distinguishes them?
Qualifications?
Qualifications. You are aware that engineers can venture into journalism field and write studies, science news. You are aware that doctors can write news because it's a very vulnerable profession, as many scholars have argued, because it's welcome people from every sphere of life. You can be a biologist and at some point in time decide to go to a journalism school and have a diploma, and you become a journalist because you know how to trade. Because you can write news. Does writing just news the criteria to become a journalist? Is it? Is it? We're not today. All right. So far, we've gone through this journey of discussing the first estate, which is talking about it's an ideal that journalism as a profession should uphold democracy and hold the government to account. And we went on to discuss journalism specifically in relation to democracy and publicity and how the debates are discussed, issues of public importance. And citizen journalism, which many have argued is less professional journalism endeavor, which requires just a random person to just see news and then do a story, photograph it, and then publish, and several people will have access to the same. I'll talk about journalism and digital culture and how citizen journalism and has made it very easy for you and I, and anyone even without certification to become a journalist. And we went on to discuss journalism and national identity, how journalism has the capacity of helping us build our identity, of making you know where you belong and having any kind of set of personality. How the media reports people, a group of people, determines how people will see them. And of course, we went on to discuss journalism, gender representation of women in media, and how media has emphasized the kind of thing we should be thinking when we think about women. And of course, even in the job hierarchy and representation of gender in journalism, we can see that it is male dominated. And last week we discussed celebrity journalism and tabloidization, which is dwelling more about the commercial aspect of journalism. And today, what exactly is news? What constitutes news? Well, ignore this particular first slide and let's move on. All right, I was going to put an outline there, but let's do that. Yeah. First, what constitutes or what makes a news? Is it news that determines itself, or people select what becomes news? For 𝙊𝙬𝙼 and 𝙤𝙬𝙼, journalists speaks of the news as if the event selects itself. No, the journalist selects the event. They speak as if the most significant news story and news anchor are most silent or are divinely inspired. So really, what becomes news? What leads the pages of newspapers are determined by people have the capacity and we're in position of the editorial kind of seat to decide whatever makes it news. And what are the things that constitutes the influence and that makes up this decision? It's either our interests or what we decide or consider the news of the day. You purchase 5 series of newspapers for the same day, you see that they have different focuses based on orientation, interest, and what's in the news to be precise. So they decide what news is. They decide what is important. It is not divinely inspired. It's clearly. Okay? All right. So, and if you want to know more about selection of news and all, you have to go into this particular text. I could provide this afterwards. For start, another kind of very theoretical and influential philosophical writer in journalism field noted that of millions of events that occur every day in the world, only small fractions are produced as daily news in news media. Now, out of series of millions of sequence of random events, it's only the ones that catches the eyes of the journalists and makes it into the media. It's only the ones that catches the fancy of an editor that is selected out of the pools of report from journalists. It's only the one he is interested in that he will ask journalists, oh, go do this story because you want the best out of it. And you only investigate what you're interested in. Moving on, one of the founding and seminal works in this area is by Olasunkanmi, and he draws our attention to how events become news. And he said what professionalism and operational practice which news is producing. There are processes that leads to decisions. It could be philosophy, it could be art style, it could be news orientation, it could be the nature of the organization, it could even be the background that leads to the establishment of the organization. Earlier, we talked about tabloidization. We said it's a style of news writing. People are more interested in entertaining and relaxing stories than stories that are too serious and difficult to comprehend. Celebrity news sells easier, you agree, than even serious content. So tell me, what will make me decide celebrity against what is of public good? Sometimes stories that are public good are not interesting stories. COVID stories, they are depressing stories. But we need those information to survive. And it takes a professional to churn out the right information at the right time during the COVID era. Just imagine, we're all in our home, in our doors, and all we are seeing the world through were through the TV screens, through our phones. You know how much power we have left with the journalists. They decide everything you know because you're not out there to confirm. You can verify. So they've got all of the power. So their level of professionalism will determine how much trust you can have. You go to a surgeon to cut your stomach open or have CS deliver your babies because you believe in your professionalism, you believe they are sacrificed and they are able to do it. That's why you allow yourself to be injected and be sedated to get asleep for several hours while somebody is busy recharging some part of the body, and then you'll be back to life and be fine again. And nothing will go wrong. It's because of professionalism. The same way we have trust in journalists, professional journalists, I would say. And there are some media that have not any public trust. You will agree with that, this is just a piece trash. This thing is not good. I was there, this was not how it happened. When you start having counter view, counter opinion, which is not in reality, it means that there are questions to ask about what is professional about that new report. You good? And then move on. So the effort of Galton and Rowe is basically for us to focus on how professional journalists should be and how well they should approach matters of public concern, so as to either function to influence the society, to make it happy, or to, of course, disrupt the polity. Moving on, these values, there are quite early in history to it. Researchers have endeavored, they've investigated the reasons that led to what determines the news. Why are people interested? Why should somebody be interested in whatever I say or whatever I do? So there was some investigation into this, and some of the argument is that the researchers endeavor to investigate the ideological corrective embedded in the works of constructing news as a truthful representation of reality. What is in news expectedly should be truth. So meaning that truth is a value that you must see in every news. If it is not true, then it is not real. If it is not real, it is not news. Because what is news is something that is new, but in reality. So journalism has been argued as a construction of reality, truth in society. So Honor again says news values are worth studying because they inform mediated one that is presented to the news audience, providing a shared shorthand operation understanding of what working journalists are required to produce and to develop. Well, you asked me, go do this report and blah blah blah, and I want the story by 4 p.m. today because we're going to run it live by 5 o'clock, and then there's pressure and limits to what you can do. There's limit to what kind of truth you can find within a limited period of time. So because journalists got developed because the market is highly competitive. So some of these things, timeliness also determined. Once it is after that 5 p.m., there are tendencies that other media organization has published the story, and there's no more news. And if you're unable to provide the service you are paid for, what happens? It means you're not relevant on the job. So timeliness becomes another news value. I hope you're taking note of this. Information truth, information timeliness. I'm picking this from the definitions, and we'll discuss that also. It is the way news value work in practice and results in being articulated and conveyed to new journalism trainees and journalism students. And they are also used by public relations professionals and other aiming to obtain maximum news coverage of events or senior events. Senior events are made the events are not very So these are basic things that you should know as a journalistic training. If you've been asked to submit an assignment or do any task, do it before the time, because the instructor, the person who gives the assignment, have an idea when the news will no longer be news, because it is a highly competitive world out there. Have a look at this. So we talked about timeliness. Let's fetch out what timeliness is. Our seminar today is going to be very interesting, by the way. So let's take a look at this. Anyway, Oliver and Akop revised taxonomy and they revealed the ways in which stabilization has infiltrated the elements of traditional art moves culture. What do we mean by this? Now, stabilization, like we mentioned, is profit-driven, is commercial-driven, and it tends to disrupt the equality. Why the serious equality journalism kind of go into analysis, investigations, it's time taking, but a tabloid just wants to get out there instantly and immediately, get the attention, tell us who has committed this scandal without verifying all of the truths. But quality journalism will go all the way and take more time. But by the time a tabloid brings a story before confirming all of the truths, what happens? There will be little or nothing very special or newsworthy that quality journalism will have to turn out. Because all they will be doing afterwards is to verifying and denying or making some further clarification on the truth. That's why you see some people, some news organizations, when something happens, they just give the headline and they lead and they say details later. And there will never be any details. I've seen quite a number of stories like that, dated to the back, and then details later, a month later, there's no detail. And there are a lot of things that were not reported. So there is this no thread kind of link, but there's a new model of journalism where you report a situation now. You notice that in quite a number of sequential stories that it's not just one time, like follow up. The build up will always be under it, and then you can see it's like a data threads kind of thing. What this is helping quality journalism to remain quality because it gives real-time updates from time to time. So some of the things that have been identified by 𝙤𝙬𝙧𝙤𝙬𝙬 in 1965 and then O'Neill and Akop is frequency. Talk about that. Talk about threshold, the limit. Talk about the unambiguity. These are things that determine this value. You talk about composition, reference to elite people, and reference to their nation, and meaningfulness, unexpectedness, and continuity. We mentioned continuity here, and the power of the elite entertainment. Bad news, bad news is sells more than good news. Good news is respected, is what we always look for. But bad news, we always want to know what happens. If someone had an accident, you want to know how, why, what's responsible for all of those things. So it requires journalism to circulate, to celebrity interested in their life and more. Surprises, yeah, good news, follow-up, relevance, and more. But then, what is happening? Wait a minute, let's take a look. What has changed from this to this? Something changed. This was in 1965. This is in 2001. What has changed? We can see that there is no bad news here. Even good news is also featuring here. Follow-up was not in existence before, but now it's relevance was not in here. It's not here. Surprise is not in here. It's here. We are more concerned about structure in here, and you can see element of power, elites, dominance. So there are of course critiques to even his values, and some of what has been codified or agreed as his value is not necessarily what makes his value. And for Vestman, list of selection criteria such as those discussed by Rodan are flawed in their presumptions that journalists actually report events. But news is not out there. Journalists do not report news, they produce news. Now it becomes something that is cooked. something that is processed, something that they put all bits and pieces together just to communicate a meaning. That is the reason why you have to understand critical discourse analysis. We discussed that earlier. So how to critically approach text to make sense out of text. And then they also construct manufacturing of content by Chomsky. And we have so many works like 𝙤𝙬𝙬𝙬𝙬, Michael Chomsky, and we have Peter Golding and other these are scholars who have done works in this area. They construct and deconstruct facts. You know what it means to construct facts? When you want to make an argument and say this is a fact, it is a fact because of this, that you put this with this and this, you make sense out of the sense. Just because you want to push a point. So you can use points, evidence, facts to your advantage. And you eliminate those that do not support it. So this is the argument of our class. Say what? They construct it. They construct statements and they construct contexts in which this fact makes sense. You understand that? And they reconstruct a reality. The reality is A, but they reconstruct it to be B because that is what they want to. That is why there is need for journalists to be objective. The argument, remember, this is a critique. You have to be careful. So as readers, you have to be. There's this encoding and decoding theory text that you should read. It's a seminal work that helps you approach texts like a stranger, like oh, this is has been constructed, but for me to understand this and deconstruct it and make sense out of it, I have to critically examine it. If you give me a story from my country, I'll check the background of the writer, the state, the region, and then I can say this is where it's coming from, and say the context, why has it quoted, why has it left these people out, and then I approach it critically. As journalists, you have to be critical when selecting your sources. So, well, they put all of these things together for any reasons that they determined, and they reconstruct the reality. And applying the Marxist perspective into all of this. He analyzed Gramsci and Althusser. Gramsci is an Anthony Gramsci, and Althusser is Scottish, and they argue that while a list of Galton and Ross may help us identify the formal elements within the construction of this, they do not explain the ideological meaning behind it. You get that? Doesn't make sense to me. We've said this has been doing, and I said they do this for a number of reasons. You really don't know. That's why you have to study the text to know the ideologies. You know the background, you know the history, and more about the content. So now, you have to understand the ideology. Means values are one of the most opaque structures of meaning in modern society. You say objective. What is objective to A? What objective to B? How we see things are different. You're looking at me now, you're sitting beside of me, he's looking at me, sitting beside of me. I'm looking here, I can see here, I can see your knowledge, you can see your knowledge. You can either see your knowledge. So there's a limit to everybody's knowledge. All the journalist does is to meet all of these people, get what this person is saying, get this person saying, why are you saying this, why are you saying, try to make meaning out of this. You get that? We're talking about the cost of education today. My sources are students. I know I'll be getting points that will support reduction of the fees and all of those things. But if I go out there and I'm speaking to elite children who are born from very, very extreme rich class, money does not mean anything to them. We don't work for money. They won't be thinking, they won't be thinking, but those who are presently paying for it. So the sources will determine the narrative, and the context will definitely do. And even among us, there are people who are doing extremely well, people who are managing, people who are struggling, different class of people. So the strata of people, the group that I now select to determine the kind of story and content that we value. The same way your essay in your future, when you start writing for assignment like articles, academic journal, the kind of text you read will influence the kind of writing you do and how you think. That's why even scholars are influenced by scholars. Now, news value appear as a set of neutral written process. Yes, it's that very but we need also to see the formal news values as an ideological structure to examine these roles as the formalization and operationalization of an ideology of news. These are very key and serious aspects, which my own personal research over the years also is built on, and they're very interesting field, things you should look at, things you see every day in the news and the headlines. Take a look at this. Using this value in your own studies. Now, the power of the elite, if you take a look at this markup model and talking about these values and identifying UK newspapers. So, for power elites, celebratory, if you go to Daily Mirror, it's 16 against what? 7. But for bad news, you find the highest you find is what? Bad news becomes the most interesting. And if you see the trend downward, you say everybody agreed that bad news is good news. Isn't it? For the journalists, oh, people will read it, people are interested, they will talk about it. Traffic will come, we will put onto our side, they will buy more newspapers, keep it. Students will be asked to analyze it and discuss it. Commercial. For commercial reasons, bad news is good news. See the total. Next to it is what? Surprises, of course. Surprises will be positive, will be negative. Surprises uncertainty. It's a good news. And we have entertainment next to it. You see this. Which have the list? Newspaper agendas has got the list here. And if we go to politics, political studies, there's no political. The relevance really doesn't have to be relevant to see. So news doesn't have to be relevant before it's in news for some people because of commercial interest. So you're choosing bad news against this. That's what the statistics shows. These are interesting data that you have to look at if you see the reality of the world. And the elites, of course, because they influence like finance, it's even it's contested. It even comes before relevance. So money comes before relevance. You see that? So what defines the value? What determines what becomes news? Money you determine. Anything happens to King Charles and anything about the PM, who comes first in the UK? If there's a story to choose and interest to decide between Charles and PM, who would it be? Charles. Why? Because of the eliteness, the elite nature.
Charles and Camilla.
And Charles and Camilla will become an entertainment story, surprises. Or let's say Camilla is opting for divorce. What happens? That's bad news. That's surprise. Come, let's go. It's the front page. All of the newspapers on that day, they will be agreed. That's all. We're running this story. Charles and Camilla. That's it. So news value and CD, like I mentioned earlier, is need to operate text critically. For Galton and Road, news selection is a chain of news communication. News selection is a chain of news communication, indicating clear differences between events in real life and coverage they may or may not require. This would seem to imply that selection, distortion, replication of news occur through discursive transcription and by many voices. Reason why you must understand critical discourse for it to make sense of discussion and know what discursive constructions are. So in a world of misinformation and fake news, you have to have a very good knack for detecting what is real and what is false. News values. Well, negativity is stopping the list. Timeliness is important, like I mentioned. Proximity. If something is happening to Nigeria, they're fighting war in Nigeria. What is the business of those in the UK? It's very far away. Or we say, oh, there is an armed robbery attack or terrorism attack in J.L. Wow. We're all scared and we want to know what news, which way should we take and what's going on. Is it safe to even go out there? When millions of people were dying in the US, everyone wants to know what is happening, what's the message. Proximity is very important. Superlativeness, eliteness, impact, revolting, personalization. Yeah. How is this connected to you? How does the COVID story affect you? You need to know more. Consonants, artistic appeal, and talk about beauty and glamour and more. If one day this will pause for things like this, then something like this. Well, how about that? That's great. And what? Can you put another one? That's great. What?
Water skiing.
Well, I knew that. Least derived from bells. So these are from bells. Well, let's look at this and see why CD is very relevant. It helps us connect text. Many young people today. It helps us connect text, social cultural parties, discursive practices, and it helps us have some very deep and insightful meaning text. And CD is quite very relevant, and it helps you understand the issues specific in the context and how they are constructed as newsworthy, and gives you better insight and advantage relation to understanding the meaning. It also helps you understand the broader context of stories. And that will be all for today's lecture. And if you have questions, please ask.
I'm impressed how you got through that.
You're impressed how?
How you got through that in half an hour.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
I'm saying,
Hi everyone there online, how are you doing today? Have you got a question for me?
No, sir. Hello? I said no.
Item, yeah. Have you got a question?
Nah, no question.
Oh, the lecture was that simple.
Yeah.
Oh my God. All right. Nelly, any question?
No questions from me.
It's too simple.
It was good. I understood it, so we're all good.
Okay, thank you. Ajay. Oh, Mike, bad. I understand that. Kemi.
Yeah, I have no questions.
No questions. All right. For those online, you have a special seminar group, and I'll pop in the assignment, the seminar tasks. So not assignment, sorry. The seminar tasks on the group, and then we have to discuss it. So start thinking about the news values. Start thinking about how to identify them, and start thinking. You can take a look at one or two stories and see if you can pick some of these values out of them, and then we'll take it up from there. From this in seminar class. So we'll go on a 5-10 minute break. 5 minutes. Is 5 minutes okay? 10. 10. No, you added 10 minute break before the lecture started. All right, so we'll go on 10 minute break and we'll meet in the seminar room. Yeah. Thank you guys. See you in 10 minutes time. In 9 minutes time, sorry. Right.
Okay.
So everybody's fine.